make the stacks blow, rolling smoke out my nose, leaning on the console. I ain't seen no asphalt in about 10 miles, riding dirty.
This is fun. This is something that I was reading, not important, but I pulled this from something I was reading today, literally today, and it solidified why I wanted to come out here with JT, Fat, Eli. It says, the solution to your problem will not be found in the problem. You're going to have to take a step back. We can rip apart problem all we want, make problem negative. It doesn't necessarily have to be negative. Like, you can just look at obstacle. You can look at, replace the word problem with direction, obstacle,
Sure,
preference
Divine
of just how you're doing
intervention.
something, divine intervention, just trying to make and I feel like with where real estate's going and the pivots that we've wanted to make, I wanted to just get away with close friends that have been around literally since day one. We met this fucking guy.
super day one.
Almost day one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Coming in like under the radar, having fun with us, and now we're starting to like the collective of us is coming back, and there's
Right.
something that's bigger that's coming, and hey, that's cool. We're gonna talk about that too. But more importantly, it was like as things started to align and as we started to have certain conversations, literally while we were still working, deals are getting done, agents are getting trained. It was like, man,
Yeah.
like I know what I want to say. I think I know how I want to say it. I think I know where I'm at. And I've collected enough information, but I just want to like, man, can we just get away from the houses and the cars and the hustle and whatever it may be? And can we just sit down and just have a better conversation on, yeah, man, like where is real estate going?
Mhm.
We hear a lot from Zillow. We hear a lot from, major companies, but like, what do we see at the ground level? I thought it'd be a good idea to just come out here, remove yourself, get a little bit more intimate, naked, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
And just talk about it. And where my mind goes, like when I think about like my own aperture and my own vision of how I see things, I got to zoom back out before I reacclimate to like the next thing I want to zoom back into. Does that make sense? Versus like always being here and just looking at it. And as I zoom back out, dudes,
I got my coffee.
Okay.
Phone, we're ready to go.
I here we are.
Remember, like
We
when we
almost
first
started like
started,
how
like,
Joe Rogan starts his, where he just was
what
like, "Hey,
words
what's
back
up?"
then?
You
That's
know,
right,
but
that's right.
A big thing that was huge for me was like, and I'm gonna say that I'm this on a micro level. I'm not a big deal, but at a micro level, when I got into real estate, and we talk about real estate fitting you, not the other way around. Nobody was doing video, right?
Right.
Nobody was doing certain things. Like there were certain leadership things I thought was missing, and we'll get to that later. But a big thing that wasn't happening was people building their brand, right?
Right.
But something that we did at Fit Republic, if you guys aren't familiar with that, go back and look. I was a number 2 guy in a startup company after police work. My cousin Reese was involved. Like he had done some cool things, and Fat was involved. He'd done some cool things with us. And as I was coming into real estate, I felt like I was this micro industry disruptor because we had built a brand with Fit Republic.
And I hit a grand slam.
We crushed, man. And shout out to Kurt. He was the owner. He allowed me to be number 2 in that, man. So much appreciated, learned a ton. We were building culture and building brand, and we were building it off of content, right?
Yep.
Like every time we were at bodybuilding shows or doing workouts or throwing our own personal events, it was like, what are we capturing? What are we building? And it was just culture-based content. And then the second piece to that was, put a shaker bottle on some buff dude's chest or some girl's ass. You'll get 10,000 likes on social media. You won't sell one fucking shaker bottle.
Right.
But when we started doing education-based content with blended proteins, isolate proteins, and how creatine breaks down, what works about it, what doesn't, how much do you need, we got less likes and less views, but we started increasing our sales by 30%.
Yep.
And it became very obvious to me before I even came into real estate, just free educational style content to educate consumers on how to make a decision, built trust, made them come to your fucking door, right?
Yep.
So I get into real estate. This is just before I meet you, right? You and I had talked before I got my license, but I get in, I'm at a different brokerage, and they were kind of into like content, but it was like green screen, like we're doing the weather or the news. And I was like, what the fuck about me? I was less tatted back then. We'll get to that. But I was like, man, this is not the direction. And dude, here's the other thing about being new. People don't respect you for what you've done prior. They just think you're some new guy.
Right.
No one really saw what I saw when it came to content. I see Eli doing his content. He was doing some educational stuff. Like I felt like I could bring some like salt and pepper to his shit, And man, I just joined his team. So right away, bro, like this reminds me of a story. And I'll let you guys kind of elaborate. When I was in boot camp, man, I had never shot a rifle till boot camp. right?
Mhm.
And we get to the phase where we're shooting. And if you guys don't know anything about the Marine Corps, the one thing they pride themselves on is every Marine a rifleman. It's that times 20 when you're in the Marine Corps. My dad was a Marine. Like, I come from a long line of shooters. I remember sitting there, it was like my turn. They're kind of nice to you in boot camp, bro, because you have a loaded gun. So they're not like really yelling at you during rifle week. And drill instructor Sergeant Graham walks up to me and he's like, hey, what's the matter with you? I kind of looked visibly, I don't know, nervous. And, you know, I'm trying to talk in third person because they require it. You have to say this recruit feels nervous versus, you know, I'm fucking it up. He's like, just talk to me, Grimes. I go, I'm just nervous. And he's like, what's the problem? I go, I've never shot a rifle. And he's like, yeah, what's the problem?
Mhm.
I was like, well, a lot of these guys grew up hunting with their dads and this and that. And he fucking kneels down and he's like, Grimes, you have no bad habits. Do what I say, when I say, how I say, to the best of your ability, you're going to fucking crush.
Mhm.
I love guys like you. And then he just walks off. Fucking paradigm shift of, in a moment, I went from nervous and fearful to, I've got an advantage, right? But this is what I'm talking about. So when I get into real estate, dude, and we built Fit Republic, cool, I'm getting into real estate. Like, I'm new to real estate. I'm not new to being new.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, if I can get around the right people, I've got no bad habits. I've got some intuition. I've got some things that I think can make me competitive in a space where nobody's doing it.
Mhm.
But why would I try to say that or speak that or teach that around the people that just don't see it?
Mhm.
Versus, man, if you're going to learn how to shoot a rifle, you've got no bad habits, right? So as long as you're learning it from the best guys in the world,
Mhm.
you should do pretty well, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Same thing like when I come into real estate. If you're going to learn and be around the guys that are doing it the right way, you're probably in a good position, right? So I remember coming in, it's like, I wasn't new to being new. I knew how to align. I knew like what I liked about Eli, what I appreciated. And I just joined his fucking team, bro.
Mhm.
I didn't ask to co-own. I just said, hey, can I have a spot on your team?
I didn't know he was the boss. This is new.
Bro, he was the boss. Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
He's been in a year longer than me. He had started a team, he had a couple agents. I was like, hey, brother, I see what you're doing. It aligns. I'd like to do as well. He's like, yeah, I remember you and I talked. You talked before you got your license. He's like, you actually got your license? I go, yeah. So that's a rarity, first of all. Secondly, he's like, well, how are you doing? I was like, well, dude, I've been in 3 months or 2 months. At that time, I'd done 5 deals. And he's like, whatever you're doing, man, it's working. Like, that's cool. And like, I liked him, man, because I didn't necessarily need him to tell me what to do. More so just the space for creativity and to me to just run my play with what I thought would help me build brand and education style content, right? Like, I feel like even to this day, it's still something that's super underdone. That's still, because when we talk about brand, like what's brand? Well, brand is you. Brand is how you make people feel. It's all the above. I got it. But what we really should be talking about is like, in addition to what people feel about you, does it convert? Like does trust and top of mind ever hit them when they think about you? Well, top of mind means you got to be consistent with content. Trust means, are you giving enough education out there, or are you just showing fancy fucking houses? Right. Or, hey, here's me in my closing photo. Here's me in my closing photo. I'm not sure what that does to a consumer versus education style, right? So I feel like, man, when we first came in, it was like being open-minded, being okay to try something new, even though you are new, leaning into your skill sets and figuring out like, hey, if I'm going to make real estate fit me, not the other way around, then what are my unique value adds that I can bring into the industry that allow me to do that in the fucking first place? Does that make sense? Like,
and that's where the content and the branding kicked in.
To this day, bro, it's still crushing. And like, if people go to my Instagram, day one, I was doing Lyft at night, studying during the day, sleeping in a fucking pantry while studying for my license. I wanted to just document my process. I didn't want to wait till I was successful. People could see that and I could just tell stories. I wanted to just show Lyft while I was doing it. And just document it and just empower people to do the right things. And now we're at, I don't know, 260,000 followers.
I know you're a humble dude, but real quick, it worked. You guys, we're hitting home runs into the upper deck. What did that turn out? You started branding, you got the YouTube channel, IG blows up. What does that, like you said, what does that conversion look like?
Yeah, man, it worked because Eli is like the most secure dude I've ever met in my life. That guy
He's not jealous.
Wasn't jealous at all.
Zero.
Matter of fact, as we were starting, as I was on his team, he literally just asked me like, hey man, I don't know what you're doing or what you're about. You're doing some great things. I think we should own the team together.
Well, dude, I saw from Will like day one, literally day one, Will's the type of guy that like you'll have an interaction, even as a cashier, you'll have a 2-minute interaction with him, checking him out or whatever at Chipotle. And then he'll leave and you're just like, what the fuck just happened? I'm ready to go fucking quit my job and go do this and this and this,
In a way that,
but he's like that with everybody. Like just anyone that's in his ecosystem, or even just literally the people that we cross paths with randomly on a day-to-day basis, he'll have this impact on. And from day one, man, like I noticed that the cloth that he's cut from is what I felt was like the same cloth the Andy Frisellas are cut from, the Grant Cardones are cut from, the Gary V's are cut from, where you're just like, I don't know what the fuck you have, but there's something.
Yeah, but this is what I mean about security, because a lot of folks, man, they'll take it as arrogance.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people aren't around me enough to see how much I shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
To see how much I take in and how much I learn. All they see is me talking and leading. What they don't realize is, well, that's because I'm in the lane of where I talk and speak, because that's where I'm the practitioner and I'm speaking and teaching to what I've done, not hypothetically what I think you're supposed to be doing, to what I've done. So it's contextual.
You didn't read the book yesterday.
No, it's not. It's not theoretical.
Hey.
It's not theoretical. It's contextual. But when folks aren't in an inner circle enough, they're only going to see your execution of teaching and leading. Yeah. They're not going to see where you're not talking. They're not going to see everything I absorb. They're not going to see everything we try. And man, if they don't have enough trust in that, and if they can't remove some of their own insecurities or some of their own ego to just listen and embody something, they're going to think that you're arrogant. Oh, that guy's a know-it-all. And like Eli just wasn't that way. And like he really saw, man, just the work that I was putting in. And he sees it like, man, I just don't speak the shit I don't do. If I haven't done, I can't speak to it. Right? It's very tactical. It's very practitioner based. It's very right. It's that right. Well, so
kudos to him too, because when I first met you that day with Alex and we shot that, I showed you that little banger video at Avanti.
Yeah.
Dude, you look, bro, that was killer.
It was great.
No, that day I'd known Alex for 10 years from the coaching, right?
Yep.
And when we had that interaction in the car, he walked away. I was like, bro, that's my people. Like, you don't know my people. That's my people. Like,
but I probably
like you. But remember, wait, like attracts like. So when we give you kudos, what does that say about you? His humility and his stature of being man enough. It's like playing for the Red Sox,
bro.
No, I know you're a Yankees fan, right? Forgive me, but you're shortstop for the Red Sox.
Throw this log of fire at you.
Counting on you at first,
dude. 100%. Yeah.
People don't understand.
There's levels to the damn game.
Let's just digest this, right? Because we talk about like positioning or alphas or whatever. Here's my interpretation of an alpha. Okay, it's a guy that is able to be whatever he needs to be, whenever he needs to be, beyond rapport, no matter what. He's alpha in his lane, man. There's times like I'm shutting up and I'm listening to him and he's driving the bus and he's spent a lot of money of ours, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I've spent a lot of money of ours and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But him and I, like, it's so rare because we've never fought over dominance or control or money or ownership. It's always just been, man, like, it's very clear what I do. It's very clear what he does. What I will say, like, as we kind of progress into like the next chapter of our career. So we were doing that, right? Education-based content and understanding the right platforms. This is still true to this day, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yep.
Education style based made us over millions and several $1 million of GCI year in and year out. Here's where we kind of had our next step of growth. You can talk about like our teams and things like that, but we're so secure with each other. We're so trusting of each other. It actually hindered us. Because we didn't put labels on each other.
Yep.
I'm not the boss, you're not the boss, et cetera, right? But I remember talking with Andy Frisella and his brother Sal Frisella when we were on the podcast for Force Forum. We also went out there a couple more times. We were able to learn from Sal. We started understanding how important like certain labels were, right? Because it identifies your lane. It identifies your ownership of what you do, where you execute, your roles of responsibility.
And just identity.
And identity.
Like,
So the one thing that was holding us a little back a little bit, probably 2 years ago, was just identifying like, oh, Will is the CEO.
Yes.
And I never wanted to call myself that because I never want to make myself the boss of Eli. But as we started digesting it, it was like, man, we trust each other. We're not doing that to make Will the boss. We're doing it because a CEO has certain roles and responsibilities, and a COO has certain roles and responsibilities. Once we started to identify that, man, we started adding different people to the team. We've got other partners now. We really started to run
respect.
fast.
What you had was
100%.
respect. You respected you, and I respect you, and I feel the same way. But you're right. Hey, you're gonna throw the ball, and I'm gonna be in the end zone with the bag. Boom.
And the cool part is like neither one of us, I feel like, had to earn it necessarily. No. Like it was immediately given mutually.
And then we just earned it every day, man. I've never dude, I bought a Lambo on a random Monday the day before my son was born. He's not questioning that I'm not working.
No, never,
hey, bro, it's Monday. You're at Lamborghini in Denver. What are you doing? He's never fucking said that.
He never had to ask. I guarantee you,
like,
I've never had the question.
And dude, like, I'll see him driving to a movie theater with his son, right? Like, And I'm not like, why is he going to a movie and he's not working? Because him and I get our shit done.
Yeah.
There's never been a lack of trust as far as like day in and day out. Gets to grind. Like, I'll make jokes like, oh, it must be nice you're going to movie with your son. I'll make like in the trenches, like I'll make like wedding crasher jokes, like I'm in the trenches. And
Of course. But, hey.
But it's not, and we're just having fun with it. But you know, like JT, like you can speak to your profession, how we met. Here's what we can say for sure, right? You've been looking at agents from a broad stroke for a long time. You kind of see agents holistically because of your career path. Sometimes Elon and I can get tunnel vision. We're building teams. Now we're at 200 agents, whatever, right? We can kind of get tunnel vision on that focus. But you've seen it from your career path in a broad stroke. And I'm curious, like, from your opinion, in the past 7 years since we've met, man, like what are agents doing well that helps them win? What do they not do well? What gets them in trouble? Is there patterns of agents that fail? And what do you feel like most recently? Like what's like 2025, right? There's pivots happening. Real estate's being done a different way. What do you see from your lens? Like, I know I'm asking a lot here from, the past 7 years, but like, I know you see that broad stroke, right? Like, what does that look like for you?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm at the point now where I kind of lean more towards, like you say, it's not the how, it's the who. Right?
Yeah, because you've said it. We've all said it. Realtors suck.
Go make 100 calls.
Realtors suck. Like, man, they don't know where. No, and I'm being funny. But you're right, though. Like,
control 45% of the market. The numbers tell the
But
true
see, something
story.
that you do really well, right, is like you're hyper focused on identifying, hey, man, I don't want to have to kick anybody in the ass. I don't want to have to teach them at a certain level. I'm playing varsity ball. And if you're there already, then I want to go to the next level with you. And if you're not, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just not your guy because I can't get stuck in the weeds trying to see if you freshman players are going to play varsity one day.
Here's the stats and here's the answer. It's not the industry's the industry. Whatever the stats are, 70% are going to struggle and fail within a year, 85 within 3. So when you zoom out a little bit, the cream always rises to the top. And that's why the 90-10 rule applies to this industry.
Eli does the same thing. Like you're looking at the numbers and go, so when you meet a low performing realtor or you meet a realtor that's got excuses or not good work habits, it's like, hey, nothing personal. I'm just chalking you up as one of the 85%.
Well, real quick,
let me go find the 15.
How many years in? When did you crack like 10 million in sales? Like a massive number, 100 grand a month. How many years in? 3, 4?
No.
2.
Yeah, quick.
Okay, time out. How many dudes have approached you 2-4 years in and asked you what to do? You're like, bro, when I was
okay, so
point,
that's a great.
I was cracking 100 grand. You're 40 years old and you're asking me how to do open houses. We're not even in the same dimension right now, bro.
I literally told a guy who's like 60.
I'm a little salty. But
hey, man, you're exactly what I don't want to turn into. Like, I appreciate you as a reminder because I don't want to be 60 years old pushing a fucking house unless it's something that I want to do for a client I know personally. But I'm trying, like, if we're still talking transactions when I'm 60, we lost.
Yeah.
Unless you're a new agent doing it for fun because you're
for sure. Leave those. Yeah, for sure. But what I'm saying is, like, real estate is so much bigger than just the transactional. Doesn't mean that they don't matter. Look at like professional sports. Look at transactions as being a player. Of course it matters. Of course it's fun. Of course it's a great grind. We've had a rush. We've done several $100 million in a year. Got it. Yeah, we've done it. At some point, right? Like, are you done being a player? Are you going to be a head coach, a general manager? Are you going to work your way into ownership? Like, I want ascension. And here's the hard part for entrepreneurs, and I'm looping realtors in with that. When I'm in the military and I'm a cop, right? There's promotions there. There's standards and proficiencies. You're around long enough or you do good enough, they give you a promotion. And then with that promotion, you have a new job. And they tell you the new job, right? So like you can just focus on working hard. In entrepreneurship, you could come into this a realtor and you could die a realtor. You have to create the promotional pieces for yourself. You have to figure out, how do I build this and take it to the next level? And that was one of our steps as I'm like progressing on this timeline through our career, was built a team, built a great network of agents, doing a ton of transactions. We're still doing transactions. We're not giving up the large amounts of transactional business that we get. It's not going to go anywhere. We're going to continue to do it, but we've decentralized it where we've got people in place that do a lot of that work for us. And our focus now is on the ascension of, we're done being a player. I want to be the head coach of the New York Yankees. I want to be the general manager. Hey, I want to be an owner of the New York Yankees, right? Like I want to work my way into bigger things that have reoccurring revenue, that have certain levels of consistency along with the recurring revenue. And it's that's what we talk about when it comes to like the win, right? Like I was talking about it earlier. When we first got into this game, it was like you and I were both having kids at the same time. Our wives are pregnant. We're 90 days into this thing. Like, are we going to be successful? And we'll do whatever we got to do, right? Like, got it. But now 7, almost 8 years in, we've reached this place where it's like, hey, man, we're successful.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue to be successful. Like, we do this well. Yep. Got it. Now the conversation has transcended to, how do you want to be successful? What different layers of success do you want to have? What does your family look like? What does your free time look like? What do your friends look like? Who are you spending your time with? Like, now as you become successful, man, you can kind of write the book to the best of your ability within what is within your control of what you want that to look like. And you can make decisions. And what I love, man, is like people sometimes get nervous about decisions, or they want to go against a decision that you're doing, and they have no research or contextual experience outside of that they drink the Kool-Aid for a decision that you might make. Right?
Hey, let me give you something to chew on, Will.
And listen, we're still arguing Jesus in 2025, okay?
Yeah.
So like the fact that someone doesn't believe or see something that I want to do, more than okay.
All good.
Well,
right?
Let me give something
like
to chew on.
If Jesus, like if we're still arguing Jesus, I'm way down on that fucking docket of people fucking being convinced about Will.
Right.
But check this out. Here's what I heard. You won the battle, but you're ready to win the war.
Yeah, man. Okay, so let's talk about that. We talked about that the other day. This is why we jam out for a week before we shoot these, right? Eli, curious about your opinion too, man, because
you reached the summit.
So like in my world of like military, police, we talk about battle a lot. Cool. And we see agents that are merely just transactional, and we're not against it. We're some of the best that do it. We'll always do it with our team, et cetera, et cetera. But sometimes they can get so tunnel visioned that, hey, man, like you're so busy doing the transaction, working in the business, not on the business, that by the time you pick your head up, you'll realize you lost the war because you were too busy winning this battle every year of top producer or whatever it is. Every year I did 20 transactions, 40, I did 100, and you're starting over every year and you're winning these battles. But then the whole time it's like, hey, man, have you ever stopped to just think how you want your life to go? Have you ever thought to think about working on the business and building the infrastructure and ascending it, transcending into leadership that just creates different lanes of income, et cetera, right?
Yes.
Like, but they're so busy winning this battle and it feels so good. Oh my gosh. So good to win the battle, right? That like they won't get themselves out of it, right?
Yeah.
Well, think about this. It's this. We're celebrating putting food on the table, which is transactions.
Yeah.
But the $1 million question, which is I think what we're all leaning towards, is light at the end of the tunnel, aka aperture. So yes, we're working.
Yeah.
But what puzzle are we solving?
Okay, so you hear Jocko talk about this in combat all the time. You hear when they talk about like that tunnel vision, like, hey, is your head up and your eyes open?
Yeah.
Can you take a step back and look at it? And this is what we talked about in the beginning when I gave that quote about, hey man, you're not going to find the solution to your problem in the problem. You're not going to find the solution to your pivot, to your obstacle, to your opportunity. Like you're not. Like you have to take a step back and you got to look at it. And in addition to that, you got to be willing to take risk and transform. Like, dude, as we were like a couple years after meeting you, we were top 1%, and then we were top 0.5% in the world for Berkshire with our team. And the same night we got that trophy, 140 million something in volume with 10 people. Like we crushed. No Zillow leads, no nothing, bro. We just crushed organic, right? That same night we dissolved our team. We said, hey, this is our last hoo-yah, man. Right? Like this is our last powwow. Enjoy it. We love you guys. Here's what we're going to pivot into. And him and I knew, instead of coaching weekly and giving all of our time to the team that we felt was at their peak of performance, right? We needed our time back for the next venture. But dissolving a top performing team in the country, bro. And listen, we didn't take anybody with us. We didn't we literally said, hey, the team's dissolved. This is just the Will and Eli show now. Dude, we lost. Of course, we lost money. They were doing deals, bro. Like we were winning.
From subtraction.
But it's that step back. It's that pick your head up. It's that learn how to envelop into your mission, which is hit it from the side, right? Envelop. But in order to envelop, you got to move troops back and around, right? Like, unless you got a unit that's already over there, whatever. This isn't a formation podcast, but.
Well, you just made it one.
Well, kind of. This isn't like a tactical podcast. But the point was, man, we weren't afraid to do it. Because him and I, like, as much as like we're unsure about, real estate or whatever in the beginning, like him and I had this trust, like, hey man, you and I are going to work out. Whether it's real estate or not, we're going to win. We're going to work out. buddy, when we dissolved our team, got back into our own time, built the Mile High Property Brothers, and started taking everything we were teaching them and just put more time into doing it ourselves, this is where we started making over 7 figures a year. But everybody was so fearful, and then some people questioned why we would do that in the first place, right? And it's like, listen, dude, I fucking love zigging when people zag.
100%.
I love when people can't quite put us in a box. I love when we do it, and like I'm telling you, man, the pursuit of what we're trying to accomplish, who we become as we're accomplishing it, and just having the ability to fall on our own sword.
Yeah.
Not everything has worked. We can talk about some challenges if we'd like. Not everything has worked with what we've done, but being willing to fall on your own sword and be in the arena. Everyone loves that arena. You know, it's not the critic that counts, it's the man in the arena. Everyone loves that quote. Everyone should shut the fuck up, though. Because I don't care if you're an entrepreneur. I don't care if you're a realtor. Most of you realtors are just sitting safe on a sideline in a place that's not the best fit for you, doing the things that aren't the right things to do, and you won't get uncomfortable and put yourself around people that challenge you to win, right? And like, man, we've just always been there. So that was a big pivot.
If I had to diagnose, coming back to what you said earlier about why people aren't just picking their head up and they're just so stuck going transaction to transaction, straight up, it's the people that they're around and the lack of leadership. And it's like when you're in, when you're in just that traditional brokerage model, it's people are comparing themselves to the next agent, right? There's no collaboration. They're literally just comparing themselves.
Yeah.
Versus like, man, I feel like people in our ecosystem, they're not comparing, but they're inspired, right? They get inspired by your accomplishments versus some other agent in your office next door that's doing this deal that you wanted that you didn't get, that you're just comparing yourself to.
And we talked about this too. I mean, it's ironic, right? Because we're here at Tasha's house. Some of you are familiar, some of you are not. But this is where we've done Diesel Day. It's a 24-hour endurance challenge, right? It's Ripper. You should do it, JT. But what's interesting, right, is like as we look into the future of real estate, there is not a loss of courses. There's not a loss of events. There's not a loss of universities. There's not a loss of coaches. There's not a loss of like, everything is external, man. Like, here's this for this. Here's this for this. If you don't have this, you won't do this. If I'm not your coach, none of this. If you're not this, it's like the fucking FOMO on 10X, dude.
100%.
It's all over, right?
The blind leading the blind.
But listen, man, like if you really want to understand, I feel like this is a great way to cap this video, this podcast that we're doing today. We'll have a part 2 that's coming out where we're going to talk more specifically about some moves. But I feel like in 2025 and beyond, right? Like if you really want to transcend, if you really want to become successful at a high level within real estate, it will be less about what's outside of you and what you missed out on, the event you missed, the tool you didn't have, the course you couldn't get, the course you couldn't afford, whatever. It will be very little of that. It will be very internal. And I talked about this a little bit earlier today. I get so confused, right? Because like all of that stuff is happening outside of us. And look, we provide stuff, man. We provide courses. We provide events. And I want to because they do have a place. But something that people have to understand in 2025 and beyond is like, man, when I went to the Marine Corps, they took everything from you, man. They didn't give you shit. You didn't have a name. You didn't have U.S. Marines on your fucking camis. They didn't give you anything. They stripped everything from you. And they started building you. And then you started understanding like everything you need first is inside of you. It's not that Marines are not amazing with the rifle. It's not that combined arms, artillery, fighter jets, bombers, infantry Marines, special operations, combined arms is like all of those different pieces working together in a movement toward battle, right? Like, it's not that that's not amazing and that those tools don't help. It just didn't start there, man. It started here where they broke you down and stripped you of everything. You don't even have a mom. You're not calling her. You're not talking to her. Nothing. You don't even get to wear your name. Do you know how much it means to you when you lay in your rack at night a couple weeks before graduation and you finally get your name on your camis?
Yeah.
And then at graduation, man, like you go through the crucible, and we're just talking basic Marine Corps boot camp, bro. We're not even talking School of Infantry or some of these other, like, dude, Squalier's course has to be one of the hardest courses on the planet. But brother, when you're graduating boot camp after whatever it is, man, 13 weeks, 16 weeks, and you're standing there and you just got done doing the crucible, okay? Which is like a 72-hour, no sleep, they fuck you, whatever. But then, man, when you line up in formation, right, and you're on top of that fucking mountain, and you're in formation after the crucible, No one's there but everybody that just went through this phase within boot camp with you. And then a drill instructor takes each squad, right? You got 3 squads in that platoon. And then one of your drill instructors, whoever's assigned to your squad, walks up, shakes your hand, and calls you a Marine. It's like, fuck, man.
Now you're
You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Yeah. And it's like, hey,
something to hold on to.
But we didn't have a choice, though. Like, when you want to go to the Marine Corps, we're amazing with weaponry. We're amazing with self-defense. We're amazing with hand-to-hand combat. We're amazing with planes and artillery. We're amazing with all these tools that are external. But it started here, and we didn't have a choice, though. Yeah. That's where it starts in the Marine Corps. Entrepreneurship, it's not, man. It's like it's the opposite. You get into something, and it's just everything that you're getting sold. It's everything outside of you that you need to win and this and that. And it's like, fuck, man. It's different now. Yeah. Right? Like real estate's hard enough now. Things have made enough pivots. The herd is thinning. Right? So if you're around for that, you got to realize, man, I got to take a step back. I got to get naked. I got to get honest with myself. I need to go hit the side of a fucking mountain and have a fucking conversation and realize what about me needs to improve in order to have the intestinal fortitude to build something real. Or am I just going to be this hamster chasing shit that's temporary and I've just created a job for myself, right? It's that, man. It's that, right? So how do we do that? How do we employ that, right? Like resources, being around the right people, these diesel days, if you guys are curious about Tosh and what he does, but finding ways to just challenge yourself and finding ways to put yourself in front of the right people that will not only challenge you and develop you, but then will also give you the tools that are applicable when appropriate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's that.
Question for you. Based on like everything you just said, for those agents that are like, or people rather, that are like, I'm happy, I'm good, right? Where they don't feel like, you know, oh man, if I can just get to this next level. But internally, they know they're missing something. They know that there's more out there.
If you're happy, you won. Okay. If you're genuinely happy, hey man, I do 12 deals a year, I'm good.
Good answer.
But it's true. If you're genuinely happy and you're not necessarily seeking more, you've got a great balance for what you want. And that's a real answer. Yeah, man, I feel like you're winning the game. Because when people talk about like to us or about us, same thing with you, JT. Like, you know, like when people are like, hey, how do you go to the gym every day? Dude, I don't know. I haven't wanted to go for probably a year. I just don't know how not to, man. Like it's just me, dude. I get up, right? I shit, shower, kind of shave, and I get to the fucking gym, right? Like same thing with our hustle, dude. Like, as much as I love all the deals that we do, as much as I love the leadership that we're creating and the influence we have with agents, man, this is just what I really get passionate about, what I really enjoy, and I don't know a different speed. I'm tempered, I'm poised where I need to be, but the constant pursuit of whatever I deem greatness to expunge my tank of gas, whatever I got in me while I'm on this earth, I'm just doing it. And like, JT, you feel like the same way, man. You feel like, man, you're here to grow something. You're here to be financially successful, but it's also to create a certain lifestyle for your family and been pretty much living it the whole time.
Here, let's take a little off ramp because you really got my wheels spinning. Because right now, and one of the reasons and the purpose of this conversation is the refocus, right? Yep. And you know, you're the fastest dude I've ever seen on a hamster wheel. With all due respect, you guys get more deals than you can shake a stick at, right? But what did you just say? This is the time to refocus. Yep. People are getting out. This is when we're running in head first, right? Warrior
into mentality. The storm, man, not the other way around.
Yeah, but check this out. The future of real estate. This is a new era. The stars have aligned. We have leverage. We have, like you said, different people, different brains. Bro. There's a reimagination happening right now. We have emerging markets globally, excuse me. We have emerging technologies, AI and blockchain. Here's my prediction. And guess what? The only two billionaires I know are both agreeing that the future of real estate has never looked so bright.
It's so true, right? And like, so here's the deal. Capping part one, right? Is like, if you're not around the right people, with the right focus and the right acclimation as far as like building your capacity and becoming acclimated to a different level of pace, of ability. Yeah, you're like, if you want to be great, you're going to lose, right? But either way, right? Like, great video. We got a part 2 coming, guys, where we're going to be talking specifically about some of these pivots. But for right now, I like that. Keep it going. For right now, what I wanted to do on this video is to go more idealistic, go more concept on where my thoughts have been, with where our industry is at and what people could do as an individual to look inside themselves and to forge within themselves, that then allows them a better opportunity at the pursuit they want to have with the people and skill set and tools coming last that they need, right? And then we'll get to part two. We'll get to part two in a little while, right?
Whiskey on the tongue and some long cut. I'ma slip it on down and turn it up. Southbound and we're trailblazing, yeah, but and a posse dirty, filthy like a spit cut. Got the moms at the gate bringing big guns. Raw records be the steak, we the A1. Speak up and we know where we came from. Welcome to the posse, let me hear you yell long cut.